Hey, ladies and Germans, how y'all doing? This is Con Ulrich,
And I'm Rangru, hello, hello, hello.
and we're back. It's a 1v1, and once again, there's no fourth armored!
I know,
Woo!
I do love seeing replays that do not involve the full format. It makes me happy seeing some actual other divisions being used, especially when there's a Canadian division on the field, baby.
So what are we going on all about today?
Well, today we have on the left-hand side, playing as the Canadians, Sarinaha. And on, if I can say bloody names properly, which we all know I can't, on the right hand side we have Astonished Man as the 116th Rindhound Division.
Shocking indeed. It looks like we're on St. Mary Glees. Am I right on that one?
Yep, we are on St. Mary Glees. We've seen this map quite a few times. It's really a toss-up between this and Colin Belazum notice being the popular 1v1 maps, which makes sense. It's a very balanced map. You got the town in the center, and then two flanks for you to possibly take advantage of in a more open field.
As long as you buy them dinner first, of course.
Of course, you gotta buy them dinner before you drive around the back end.
And head through the bush.
Through the bush, exactly.
Oh,
Through the hedgerows. Try not to catch any burning flamethrowers along the way.
Oh, that's why you see doctors. No flamethrowers happen. All right, but NSFW stuff aside, division matchup. So 116th we've seen a couple of times here. How about 3rd Canadian? Tell us about them.
1st Canadian is a mechanized division, meaning they're bloody good at everything. They got runner for infantry selection, tanks. They're really going to be a good matchup against the Rintown. For the Rintown division, this is going to be a really interesting A-phase, Khan, because they can only get 4 Panzer Grenadiers. So I don't think that town's going to be a good idea for him. So maybe if he goes around the flanks and try to push through with light armor, or if he was to Panzerwerfer spam into the town and try to use his half tracks and Panzergrens to hopefully penetrate through. Because one nice thing to find against the Canadians is they don't have many anti-tank weaponry. It's Piat squads, and then I believe their leader squads are the only ones with Piats. And we all know they use Piats, so it's much safer to bring a half track into a Canadian held town and let's say an American held town, and they got those nasty bazooka dudes.
True. It does look like Astonished Man is kind of trying to surprise us here. We have 4 recon squads starting on up, and that's strange, but I guess at the same time probably nice to see.
Yeah, it makes sense because you don't have much regular infantry or spar troops. They have machine gun, which makes them pretty on point with a lot of allied troops. So it's just worthwhile to do that. I'm not seeing any Panzer IIIs. That doesn't surprise me too much, to be entirely honest. Or heck, no real like light. Well, we got one of those command 232s, but I'm not seeing like the 234s, the Puma model with the autocannon.
I could have sworn I just saw one of those pop up and I was just mousing over. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's got a lot of those weird like 251 and 250 half tracks. A lot of half tracks, which hopefully he can do some aggressive penetration play along those flanks, because that A phase is really his stomping ground.
True. Now remind me. For some reason, I always want to say that the AVRE is a Canadian vehicle as well,
Scotch.
but I might be wrong.
It's only Scotch and Commando.
Thank you. It's been a while since I've seen them. Honestly, I was very thrown off to see them here.
They do have the Ram, which will be pretty decent against Rind, because it does have that armor, and off we go.
Indeed we do, and you're absolutely right. Germany's taking a very, very passive position. It looks like OSarinha is just going to be very aggressive here, hopping out in the middle of the town, probably going in to see John Wayne.
Yeah, but he might have already broke his leg, and there's a bunch of dead paratroopers littered on the street, which isn't exactly the most friendly welcome him. But nonetheless, he's going to easily capture that town. Maybe capturing the full part of it may be a little bit difficult, because the Panda Grenadiers are nasty at long-range engagements. But just having that town is going to be a real good strategic hold point for OSarinha.
Kind of nice. We are going to see both sniper scouts and flamethrowers, though. So if he does really want to aggress, I don't know. I kind of feel like this is the right kind of composition to deal with it.
Yeah, if he was to use those, if he suppresses the sneakers and then use some smoke of the flamethrowers, the Panzer Grenadiers are buggered, and you only can get 4 Panzer Grenadiers. You can literally count it on one hand. So you just knock out 3, and then 2, and then run, and then he's buggered for A phase till B.
Now, one thing's a little bit funny for me is to watch this Pack 38 be dumped off way the heck back off the front lines. Not too sure why that happened necessarily here.
Yeah, I'm guessing maybe he's expecting a Ram 2 Rouse or some nonsense, but, well, yeah, he sort of dumped it a little bit closer, but it's a very defensive play from Astonished Man. I'm rather astonished, to be entirely honest. And, well, I hope he doesn't squander this A phase, because it's going to get worse out for him till B.
Now, you keep saying about you hope he doesn't squander the A phase. With only 4 Panzer Grenadiers, then why is the 116th even a viable division?
Well, you got Panzer IIIs, which are pretty decent. They're not really the best, I say, but really just using light vehicles such as 232s, 234s, and half-tracks and Panzerwerfers, you can do some fantastic maneuvering play. And the Panzer Grenadiers are great, because like a 2 to 3 star, it's absolutely powerhouse. You just don't get a lot, so you have to be very conservative with them and keep him alive.
Now, getting what's going on the map right now, there has been a lot of engagement. What there has been, though, is a couple of deaths here and there. A half-track going down for the Germans, that actually the AEC wannabe goes down courtesy of that 250 half-track.
Oh, wow.
We are going to see that P3, like you said, coming on in. In fact, we're going to see a couple of 259s coming down the south. That's the... Oh my gosh, I can never remember. Yep. Kampfwagen Kanone 38.
I think it was words, but I'll go with it.
I have some German viewers who'll be nice and mad at you.
They are getting absolutely buggered.
True, but against Stormtroopers, okay, this is kind of an interesting matchup we don't really talk about very often. Take me through that. How do Stormtroopers match up against P-Guns, especially in that close-in fighting?
Well, like in Star Wars, you have to get Stormtroopers close, very close, to have a chance of actually hitting something. But once they get in close, they got those satchel charges that will absolutely devastate the PZ Gren squads.
Be careful, by the way. I was always an Empire guy myself.
Yeah, you know what? I agree with you. The Empire did have some of the cooler kit and uniforms. And they had a Death Star, but if they just, put some planks over that hole, I think things would have gone a bit better.
Well, they had a Death Star, they had another Death Star, then they were like, you know what? Time to scale us up, and they made a Death Planet, and then...
Yeah. I mean, next thing's going to be a Death Solar System.
Dude, that would be pretty wicked.
Yeah. That would be pretty mental. But anyway, the Germans are actually making a bit of a push in his center now. The half-track's taking the lead, which, smart idea, don't worry too much about Piats, like I said before. But he only has that one PZ Grand squad. Yeah, rather down on men, so I don't think he's going to make too much progress.
Well, I was a little surprised myself when he had the Führer Panzer Grenadier squad go first.
Yeah.
I might be wrong, but isn't the veterancy worth a lot more than one of your tiny little squads?
Yeah, well, it's a bit of a silly play, I would admit. We're seeing the second out of potential 4 Panzer Grens being brought out into the town, so it seems like Astonished Man will be fighting over the town, which, I mean, that is a way to approach this, but really looking at it is, I think, attacking along the southern flank, where you kind of have that 400, 300 meter engagements, would benefit him much better and gain a lot more ground.
Now, there are 2 things I do like here. I do, first of all, like that he has this motor pool kind of being slowly consolidated to the south of the town.
Yeah, I see. That can actually really do some damage.
Oh, 2 things. First of all, I didn't realize that church in the middle of town, that's the church from Red Buttons hangs from, right?
Yeah, it's the same. I mean, they modeled it after the actual place, but yeah, it is literally the church. I think it looks a bit different, but...
kind of funny for me. You never really pay attention to it just until that one time happens. Airstrike coming on in, but the other thing I was going to make a comment about is I do love the way the light vehicles are actually supporting the outside of this push. They're not trying to go in the streets itself for the most part. They're staying outside. They're putting pressure on the buildings on the inside, and oof, 6-pounder does take out one of those half-tracks, but until then, it seemed rather lovely, actually.
Yeah, it was a good push. That's exactly how you use half-tracks, Con. You don't rush them in suicidally, you keep them back a bit. I mean, they got 2 1-machine guns. That's a lot of firepower. It's pretty much another Panzer Grenadier squad, right? Yeah. But, It's Panzer III if the Piat will actually get the killing blow. It's already been 2 shots.
I think it's been more than that yet, but there we go. Finally getting that last one.
There we go. But the thing is, too, we got the Ram, and the Ram is really going to be... It's going to be a pain in the arse to run down. The Panzer IIIs can barely penetrate it. They can't get... Yeah, they can't get a Pack 43 in A.
Well, we are getting some Werfing Panzers going on here, so the question is, where's he aiming? If he's going for the center part of town, I'd like this. And he is. Oof, yep, there goes one squad. Pinned down. Oh, you know what? Talk to me about the Panzerwerfer, because we know obviously it's very much a suppression vehicle here, but really, what kind of kill power are we looking at?
The Panzer is, like you said, is a suppression vehicle. Really, the main killing blow comes from the napalm effect it leaves on the ground after it's already fired its load. And I've seen a few times where an AT gun or mortar haven't retreated fast enough and they just burn in the flames. In this case, the infantry are just slightly out of the fire's grasp, so they're not going to be able. They're going to be able to survive. But also, the fire on the ground pretty much denies any movement for at least a little bit. So I'm trying to think of the word here, but it's pretty much like a little bit of a deterrent and buys you some time.
Well, area of denial, is that the kind of term we're looking for?
Yeah, it just Gord Surf strategy, my dude.
Do want to note, by the way, the Southern Motor Pool has moved on out. 6-pounder is going to get into action, though, picking off the leading half-track, so the Germans should be more than aware about where that is.
Yeah.
And their town push is bogging down. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, it's whether you can kill it or not, because they do have... Okay, the 250-10 does have HE, but I think they're going to maybe lose another half-track or two before...
I don't know, I think he's going to get outside of that firing arc. Yep, he's going to get in nice and close on his rifles. Those rifles are not long for this world. That's good. Even the Bedford's getting caught out. Oh, man, just barely missing.
This is very interesting because Astonished Man, he needs to just be very aggressive with his motor half-track push. He cannot really afford to stop to allow that Ram 2 to reposition or another AT gun to get in here. If he can kill that 6-pounder, it's open field, baby, and he can really be a pain in the arse for Daria. I can't... How do you say his name?
I would say Serena. Or Serena, one or the other.
Let's go with Serena. It's going to be an absolute pain in the butt, if he penetrates into the open ground, but doesn't seem to be the case. He's going to be attacking into the town instead. And that 6-pounder can't see it because he backed up all the way.
Well, what's more, we are going to see that Ram 2 is now taking up a second P3.
Yeah. That's... Yeah, the P3 in a head-on engagement against Ram. I wouldn't be doing this, Khan. Not like that. Not like that.
Now, if I moved, how would you move? Just like that or different?
Panzer III's, I'd keep him along the southern flank of its motor half-track push, because it's just like some proper anti-armor. And a Panzer III is not a good, like, head-on tank, really. It's more of a flanking cavalry-style vehicle.
Well, that's entirely how it was made, of course.
Yeah.
6-pounder might get 1 or 2 more shots off. No, Germans are playing hell with its firing arc, and that... Oh, geez, this could be a beautiful barrage. It's landing all around. Oh, geez, there it goes. Southern flank is going to be wide open now. Canadians are desperately trying to stave that off. I have a Spitfire making... Oh, no, never mind. Spitfire's going to the north side of the town. Now, Flampanzer's coming on in.
I know. We've got the stuff... I bloody love that Flampanzer. I hope it kills some things. Oh, the Ram went down.
Yeah, what? Oh, Pack 38 finally got the shot.
Did it get a shot? Was that a rear shot? Yeah, it was a rear shot, my dude. Oh my god, this is going... I was not expecting this.
To put it delicately, yeah.
Yeah, I honestly thought this mortar half-track push going into the town was not a good idea, and he really sort of just continued along the southern flank, but damn, he's encircled the Canucks right now, and the Flammenpanzer just look at it go.
Well, we are into Phase B right now, so let's not ignore that too much, but we are finally having the Astonished Man. Well, it looks like he's getting some shocking stuff in D, where he might be approaching somewhat. A 58%, never mind, starting to fall back as you see some more infantry coming on in. Do you see the Germans trying to make a cauldron battle here? Or how do you think that's going to work out?
this is going to be pretty good for Astonished, because I believe he can start getting Pioneer squads. And Pioneers are the perfect town clearers for any German player, so rip a few of those guys into the fray. And yeah, he should be able to completely capture his town if he can do it in time, because we got that Sherman being brought up and there's nothing really here to stop it at the moment.
True, and we already see right now one of those Brave 250s/9s are, well, that's pretty darn gone. But the other ones are very close here. No, don't go to the other side of the trees. What's wrong with him, you fool?
Okay, there we go. Phew.
And as much as I want to go and bash the positioning of these vehicles, this is a beautiful spot for light vehicles.
Yeah, I mean, they could potentially get ambushed by a Piat, or am I joking, the Piat miss. But,
there's spot troops just to the south of that as well, so they'll at least be able to see the approaching troops there.
It is a good position, though, definitely, unless you get bombed by a Spitfire. Yeah, it's, yeah.
They're scared, but they're alive.
Maybe you sort of spread them out a bit. Sherman's going to be trying to pick off one or two of them as they do retreat. And, we've got a Panzer being brought out, which is definitely going to be a good counter against Sherman. You need to get some Pioneer squads, some more infantry into his town ASAP for him to completely capture it.
And he's looking to take out that Pak 38. He does pin it down. Sherman starts firing in the meantime as well, and Flampanzer has a damaged transmission. So that delightful vehicle might be perishing right soon. Yeah, and even worse, rifles are compelling to surrender some of those light vehicles to the southern side of the town.
It died like it's lived, on fire.
For half a second, I thought you were talking about the half-track to the southern side of the town. I was like, wait, what?
I was talking about the Flampanzer, sorry.
No, of course. Pioneers, like you said, are being brought on in. The infantry situation for the Windhund, tell us a little more about that then. Phase B, does it get better, or is it just kind of continue being the same?
It gets better, because you have to get more infantry, not just 4 Petergrams. They don't have the veterancy, but you have the numbers, so just take a lot of Pioneers and you usually have a pretty good time.
Heading west, apparently.
Yeah, and the rifles are getting pinned down. You gotta realize Canadian infantry aren't like the Scots, because they only have 1 submachine gun compared to 2, so you can't really do that well in close quarters engagement. Meaning that in this engagement, they're pretty much buggered. There's really not much they can do unless they have fire support, and that's really how you want to be playing the Canadians. You want to have fire support backing up the infantry. Oh,
the Sherman is down!
Wow.
Pak 38 from the south hammers it in the side.
That's the same Pak 38 from before it killed it.
Nope. That one's still outside town. And it looks like a Panzer Buffer is going to be reloading. He might get another barrage off.
Yep.
I might be wrong here, but I think the Germans are about a hair's breadth away of really shoving out the Canadians.
Yeah, it's just a pin-down rifle squad. The sniper is holding his own, like in the end of Saving Private Ryan. Until he probably gets blown up by a tank. And, yeah, the Canadians aren't looking good. I mean, we've got Stormtrooper in there now, but the thing is the Germans... Oh, look at that! A Ju-88 in B phase! Wow!
That's not so common now, is it?
That's not... When was the last time you saw, like, a Ju-88 car?
You mean unless I was playing horribly? Not very often.
Exactly. I don't really see him either, so... I mean, there's 2-star on it. Did its job quite well. And,
by the way... Sorry, go ahead. But go ahead.
Hopefully Astonished can take us back. And look at Sherman 3, he's getting pounded once again by the Pak 38.
And that's exactly what I was going to mention. And we are seeing a +2 over here for the Germans, so Canadians desperately trying to shell everything into submission, but they can't seem to do it. Their flamethrowers are out of fuel, the riflemen are surrounded. Oh my gosh.
And it's not good at all, but this is a really good play from Astonished Man. I'm very impressed by it.
And that's the town.
Yeah, that's how you capture a town.
God.
The real reason Astonished is winning this matchup is because he's using his fire support better. He's got the tanks and the half-tracks backing up his infantry, while OSarinha, he doesn't have any kangaroos, you know, his fire support vehicles aren't nearby, and now he's trading shots for the Panzer, which is a
from
bit
the front.
risky.
From the front, for that matter.
From the front, that's not the best engagement, of course. And you can't exactly flank the Panzer when it's inside a town, so... I mean, that's perfect positioning for it.
Now he is trying to take out that supply supply truck over there on the German side of things, but you take one of those out, does that really make the supply
Yeah.
position that much worse?
I mean, for Rintown, you're probably not taking too many supplies, so getting any kill and just forcing your opponent to spend another 50 points is usually pretty decent. And sometimes, I believe, when it blows up, you can actually stun up nearby vehicles, because you have a bunch of munitions, it goes big boom.
True, true. Well, it looks like that Spitfire might pay for his temerity. We are going to see this ME-109 make one more run. Falling back. Oh my gosh, I feel like he's trailing smoke.
Come on, Tamari.
Come on, Hans.
Something great to save Luftwaffe.
Oh my gosh. 522, 530, it looks like we have more flame troops coming on in. The white trucks are here.
Oh.
Which sounds like a supremacist unit if I've ever heard one.
But they're green.
True. True.
Green.
So, are most Canadians colorblind, or?
Yeah. I mean, all we see is right up here.
True. Well, that's why your flag is red and white. It's supposed to be red, white, and blue like it should be.
It's like this ain't Fallout, buddy. They ain't gonna annex Canada just yet.
I'll just say here, our bears have two heads. Thank you very much.
Okay, yeah.
But no. So the Germans are up and up rather safely. Assault pioneers are in though. How does that really change the thing? Does it change it at all?
If they can get in close, they can do pretty good damage to the Germans. But if they get a long-range engagement, they're buggered. And once again, it really just comes down to Astonished has the fire support. He has the half tracks spread all around, and the Canadians don't really have a good answer to him.
Actually, I really like. Watch this. You see those Panzer Grens? You saw the assault pioneers come in. What's the first thing he did? He jetted out the back of the house and moved away.
Yep.
Assault pioneers in close and they have full fuel tanks. It is not going to be a pretty sight.
It's not a pretty sight at all. They're a pretty hot unit.
And they're getting what they deserve. It looks like more artillery being called down on them. Those rocket tubes are really doing work.
Yeah, it's just really not looking good for OSarinha right now. I mean, okay, he managed to pick off a Panzer III of his Wolverine, but I think for him, he's just gonna have to do a slower approach into the town, just infantry footzerg into the town with some fire support tanks and artillery. Artillery would really help him out, but he still has to deal with that Yad Panzer, which is going to be a pain in the ass to deal with until he can get a 17-pounder unit, which is until C phase, and he just doesn't really have the numbers.
I am going to note he is threatening to take back a tiny portion of this town.
Yep.
Ever so minuscule. Crew killed, the Panzer is trying to get close enough to get a shot at that Sherman. And he will get it.
Oh yeah.
Just barely anything. You idiot, bombing like crazy again though.
Bombed his own Yad Panzer.
Did he? Actually, no, I think he just missed
It barely
shy.
tuts. It barely tuts, but it's enough to stun it up a little bit. And the Spitfire not gonna be able to chase down that German medium bomber.
Surprising when you think about it.
Yeah, well.
Now, help me out here. So the 116th. It feels like it's been a very, very minimalistic kind of investment here.
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing a pretty good job with, well, pretty much quite a little. It's really just those half tracks, a few pioneers. I'm really surprised. I thought he'd get a bit more pioneers and Panzer Grenadiers into his town, but he's kept a lot of his units alive. That mortar pool, not a mortar, the half track autocannon units are still alive and they're still holding the southern side. And he's been investing quite a lot in planes. We've got Ju-87G now because why not?
Of course. And the Canadians, Brit wannabes, are just bombing the FLMBG just now out of the Germans. So is this how the Canadians get back into this, or is this just wishful thinking?
Maybe,
Bailed out. There go the Wolverine dead.
Yeah, that's I'd never really recommend getting an 87G, especially in a Rintown or any German tank, but I mean, just killing that Wolverine is a pretty good shot, but he does lose the plane.
True, but he's just prepping so that we can get another barrage off with that Panzerwaffe. But it's only doing a couple rockets at a time. It's kind of hard to hate that particular decision.
Yeah. I feel like really for the Canadians, they really need to save up and just get one big push. move in. He needs fire support. 25 pounders would be supreme in trying to deal with this town. He can't get any rocket artillery because Canadians,
Mm-hmm.
but he just needs something. His investments have not been going all that well. Losing that Wolverine really hinders him in a retaking that town and having long range fire support. Unless you can get an Achilles, that's definitely a
Definitely an interesting call.
yeah, an interesting call. He should really get like a rifle squad, just one rifle squad to go along the southern side to at least capture a little bit of ground because his +2 is not doing him any favors.
Well, and that's a comment I was just going to make myself, is that, well, here comes another Wolverine, by the way. It was kind of amusing to me that the Germans are really missing an opportunity, I feel like, and they are not going to correct it with this new recon squad coming on in either. Wait. Did the yacht bench just go down? It just went down. It just went down. I think the Sherman 2 popped it.
Makes sense at close range. But did it surrender? Yeah, okay, yeah. It did too. Okay, it did die. Huh, that's
Shocking.
That's not pretty good. So he does have Panzer III being brought up, and it is sea phase now, so Astonished could get a Panther if he shows desire, which is a pretty good choice, I'd have to say. But he still holds a town. You don't really need tanks to hold a town. It's really just to control the area around it. And Astonished, he doesn't have to do much. He's sitting on a very nice +2, so he can sit back and smell the roses for now.
Just kind of bank up some of those points, right?
Yeah, bank up some points, get a Panther, and heck, even like a Pack 40 would be a pretty good investment. And
he is bringing a P4 into the town. Actually, no, to the northern side of the town.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
I know my Roman numerals.
That's good.
Unnecessary skill set for today.
Yeah, so we got that Panzer IIIL going on to the southern side. He's really using these light and medium tanks to pretty much be more of an ambush unit instead of rush them out into the front line, which makes sense. Achilles really will pop anything that will dare pop its head open. I'm wondering if Astonished will try and clear up his little bulge up north, as this is a rifle and Piat squad.
That's a good question. That is a very good question. I have to say, I do like this whole kind of birth canal that you see where that P3 is that you were talking about.
Yeah.
JU-88 comes and slams another rifle squad back into oblivion. And the Canadians come in, they check in, but they don't check out.
Yeah. And he's bringing in a one rifle squad, but he really needs much more than one rifle squad to take back his town and fire support. I'm surprised we haven't seen a single hippity-hoppity kangaroo, Khan.
Well, there are no kangaroos in Canada, you should know that.
I know, but that's where he went to Australia. We brought some kangaroos, took him to Canada, and then took him to Normandy. Well, we had to go to the Toronto Zoo first to get some, but I only had like 5, so we ended up having to ask the Anzac brothers if they could lend us a kangaroo, but
I feel there's more of a story behind this that I would laugh at more if I was Canadian.
But he's just fire support. He needs fire support to take us down, and he just does not have it. And his infantry can't really power out against Pioneers and Panzergrenadiers.
Now, I am a little bit amused to see a Crusader AA tank coming on, and this is always the unit you laughed at back in Company of Hero days, of course.
Yeah.
Is that really going to be do anything for him, or is that the kind of fire support he might be able to leverage into more territory?
It's good fire support. It's only a lot of half tracks and radio of the Panzer IV, but it's good fire support, and it also acts as an anti-aircraft unit, so hopefully he can do something with it. But yeah, Panzer IV, I think a Panzer IV is going to kill it if he dare moves down that road just a little bit more. Can he even see the PZ4? Yes he does.
Now he does, yep. But is he in range?
Oh, he's barely in range. That's just... Oh, now he's in range. Don't move the Crusader up. Fall back.
He's not going to. He's a brave old man.
He's oh.
You know, this is how I feel whenever I watch a Stuart fire at anything that's German.
Or if you're going to fight against 4th Armor, there's like 5 Stuarts shooting at you.
True. We see Ramo P, by the way, coming on in another Crusader, and that Achilles was saved from death by the Ju-87 by just a very, very opportunistic mosquito fire.
Yeah.
Kind of shocked to see that.
Yeah, Mosquito is a really bloody good airplane. It's a good bomber, and it also acts as a good fighter or bomber interceptor. So for knocking out Ju-88, you can't go wrong with a Mozzie. I'm just not seeing this happen in the town, Khan. He's got a little bit of a foothold, which is nice, but this does not have fire support, and I'm really surprised Astonished is holding this row, considering he doesn't have that much infantry in the town. It's rather light.
Hey, they fixed the artillery thing.
There we go. We can actually see it now.
P3's being very opportunistic. I'm not sure he might see the Achilles. No, he doesn't.
Barely.
He just barely doesn't.
That's some sneaky maneuvering.
He's going after the dead one. Not entirely sure why he's going after the Wolverine.
No, maybe he just wants to see its broken husk blown up.
I say some men just want to watch the world burn, apparently.
Yes, especially so pioneers.
Ooh, but P4 is a beautiful shot from way downtown.
Whoa!
Takes out the Achilles, so that's a big problem out of the way.
Good kill.
Now he's going after the Ramo P. If the Ramo P buys it, that's a bit of a waste, I would think, from the Canadian side of things, yes?
Yeah, he only man's got one shot off, but he has a pretty good amount of armor, so he's just bouncing those shots. I don't know why he hasn't fallen back yet.
Bailed out.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. A little bit too late, on the Spitfire bombing run, I have to say.
And, well, a daily and a dollar short, too. Look where those rounds went.
Yeah.
But the P3 does go down, so the Wolverine taking his own pound of flesh from this particular engagement. And the P4 is not even looking at a main tormentor. He's going after a teeny tiny little Lynx, so Panther versus Lynx. Well, so to speak.
Yeah. We got so Pioneers charging into the town, but yeah, just...
Well, Pioneers be Pioneers. These guys know how to build, they know how to take stuff apart.
Yeah. And Ju-88 just consolidating the fate, and the Canadians really no longer have that town, or their little foothold of the town. And another Yad Panzer from Astonished Man.
This has been a fantastic game from him, guys. This is how you play Wundhund.
Yeah, and he hasn't even used any real heavy tanks, no Panther at all.
No, he's been using stuff that we kind of deride as being completely worthless for the most part.
Yeah, like I'm not a big fan of Panther 4s. I'm not gonna lie.
You're not a big fan of Panther 3s.
Yeah, I'm not. Panther 3s as well, and they're not really good. I think I could use a little bit of buff, but apart from that, he's just been fantastic positioning, great use of fire support, and that's what's really allowing him to win this match.
I will say, he's been helped by a little bit of kind of knee-jerk responses from his opponent here too.
Yeah, Darren really needed to just amass a force and move up instead of little, 2 or 3 man or 2 or 3 squad attacks with hardly any fire support. He's getting a Firefly now, and he's really banking on getting these heavy quotation mark tanks. These are allied tanks we're talking about, but he really needs artillery. He needs infantry. He needs not big tank killers. He doesn't need big tank killers.
He needs what he's not using, basically.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yes, there's a Yad Panzer on the field, but he already has a Wolverine. Yep, 210 points. Could have been much better spent on artillery.
Well, he's finally starting to throw some weird sense of infantry attack together. 3 squads moving in from the north.
Yep.
But I feel like he's been squandering the southern approaches the entire time.
Yeah. Looking at it now, there's half track, there's 2 half tracks and 2 recon squads. Some lightly armored pursuit, kangaroos could have done a real good job and put a nice hole into the German front line. But alas, he's really bashing his head against the town.
So either the Wolverine just went down, Ju-87's coming on in, I think he's making a run. He was going to make a run at the Firefly, but Owl City wins the day for now.
And the Mozzie also went down too, which is a rather big loss for the Canadian player.
Ah, good point. Good point.
Yeah.
And actually, that Spitfire being compelled to leave just as the Ju-87 started to smoke. Very lucky indeed.
Very lucky, dude. We're seeing another Flam Panzer con.
We are?
Look, yeah, it's in the town. If he could rush it up, he
Oh,
could knock
yes.
out. He would probably die to the Crusader, yeah. But I just want to see it happen.
Well, how does okay. The Jagdpanzer does not quite see that Crusader. He has to go up about another 100 meters before he does.
Yeah.
Well, why move forward? The Befehle Panzer is got all three of those guys pinned down with the help of the Jagdpanzer. So yeah.
Yeah, and he's finally clearing up that northern side of rifles and Piat. You know, just one Panzer Grande. That's all you really need. And yeah, the Canadians are really buggered. We've got Sherman 3 down south, but not really gonna do much.
Now, I'm also kind of surprised, too. I mean, the Canadians had that northern approach for a fair bit of time.
Yeah, they did, and they had a good foothold in that, considering how well Astonished took the town. He could have really made a play up here, or along the flank instead of trying to do these tank plays in a non-tank situation. Yeah. I also just want to know, just look at the town, Khan. It's battered to say the least.
Well, the thing is, I'm amused about a little bit is that the main drag has been completely plowed and just wrecked. The southern side of town, the northern side of town, hell, even the eastern side of town is, hurt, mind you, but largely unblemished.
And then just look at the center. This is, war-torn Europe for you. This is one of the reasons I really like this game. Is you look at the map before, and then you look at like the map and towns afterwards, and everything's just destroyed. And there's carcasses everywhere. Flaming pits of ammunition,
former tanks,
crash planes, former tanks, exactly. It's just cool seeing that before and after. And look, yeah, I think he has 2 J-88s, and they've been doing God's work.
Indeed.
Really, I think it's just one maybe, but they've been doing really good. I'm surprised. So,
he does finally kill it though.
Typhoon gets the kill. A Typhoon of all things round.
Amusing enough to me is we are going to finally see a priest come on in, and you're wondering to yourself, is that to deliver last rites or what? Like, I really don't know why. He was like, you know what, I'll wait until 37 minutes into the game, and then I'm going to bring in a priest. Like,
Oh god, I could have been so naive in the end. It's just... I mean, nice. You got a tank force, but you're not attacking a tank area. You're attacking a town. This tank force would be much better doing stuff down south, like it is right now. But too little, too late. We got another Panzer 3 coming down south, and
well,
yeah, it's not looking too good for the Canadians at all.
Well, I'm gonna say this. It's kind of funny for me. We're probably gonna see a win by points, which is surprising. Usually we see, oh my gosh, someone gets almost tabled, and it's like, quick, surrender. But no, this is a right thrashing.
Yeah, an absolute. I mean, once he captured that town and secured the flanks, it's pretty much just been a holding operation the entirety of the match. And Darna has just kept running his tanks into AT guns and panzers and other nasty vehicles, and just because he didn't manage to gain a consolidated push, he couldn't really do anything to take back the ground he lost.
Now we're gonna be ending up right now. It's gonna be 2,500 to 522. So that early start by the Canadians gets oof.
Look at the KD. That's close.
I feel like that's deceptively close.
Yeah, I think he got a few kills towards the end, and Astonished was losing some units like the Ad Panzer and the J-88 as well. So it definitely and the Messerschmitt at the end. So it definitely patched things out a bit. But history, I'm a lot of half-track deaths early on during that A phase, but the main thing is he captured the ground and held it. And then looking towards B, it's a lot more Canadian losses. and then it gets a bit more even once you get to the late game.
True, but the stuff that dies in B is all stuff that was fairly vetted.
Yeah, they got the rifles and stormtroopers. It's really just the infantry that are left in the town at the pretty much finished off.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at KD, Canadians didn't really get anything too crazy.
No, and the Germans have one P4 that took out a couple of good tanks, as well as that spotting ram. And other than that, I mean, it did not seem that equal at all, which I think is what's stunning me so much, is that the game seemed so one-sided.
It seemed one-sided because Astonished was holding onto the town really well, and the front line never moved, but he was trading lives with pioneers and panzer grenadiers and half-tracks to hold onto that town, and you can afford to lose half-tracks, especially as Rin towns where everything's a half-track, essentially.
So there are a dime a dozen, yeah.
Yeah, you just get half-tracks are good, and yeah, it is Khan, how you play Rin towns. Yeah, flanking push to capture the town. Grade A maneuvering play, right? Yeah. Panzer to finish things up. He surrounded, cooked it, boiled it, put in a stew, and ate it all up. And just damn good play. Damn good play.
I'll leave the Lord of the Rings references for next time, but no, actually, I was going to say one minor thing I do want to call out at the end is one of the quiet heroes of that game, Mobile Vagan, and then the later half-tracks that came in with the quad-mounted 20 mils on the back, putting up just clouds of flak and just forcing away a lot of that Canadian air power.
Yeah, you did get quite a few airplanes on it, yeah, especially throughout the match, and they didn't manage to do too much. Not enough to take back the town, that's for sure. Obviously, he did a few bombing runs, but he couldn't follow through with a push afterwards.
True. But alright, so that's about going to do it for me. How about you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Sounds good. Alright, folks, that's going to do it for us today. Thank you guys so much for coming out to this game. Beautiful play, honestly, from the Windhund.
Yeah, lovely play.
Respectable, but definitely some room for improvement for the Canadians.
He held on to the town. He just needed to amass a force and attack.
True.
One big force.
True. But until next time, this has been Conor.
And I'm Rangaroo. Take it easy.
Have a good day.